Hey everyone! Welcome to episode number 22 of my show and tell. My name is Claudie, in case you're new and you don't know that. And thank you so much for coming to hang out with me for a little bit. I'm hoping that this episode will be a little bit shorter, but we'll see. So before I get started, just a few things I wanted to mention. There will be show notes over at craftingwithclaudie.com, but I'll put a link down in the description bar. There are links to all of my social media-ness, the Instagrams, the Ravelries, the Facebooks. You obviously know the YouTubes if you're watching this on YouTube. So, yeah, so all that's going to be down there in the description bar. And yes, so I want to mention this first. So I'm hosting a craft along over in the Ravelry group, which is called Crafting with Claudie, and there'll be a link in the description bar as well. And I mentioned it last time, and I said that it was going to run through the end of March, and also that if there were 15 participants, then there would be a prize. Well, so far, there's really not been a lot of activity over there. There's been, like, a little bit, but I can see, like, you can see how many people are looking at or have looked at the threads, and we're not talking a lot of people. So I'm okay with extending it a little bit. I feel like if we get a bunch of activity a little bit later, like closer to the end of the month, and we've not quite reached that 15, I'll extend that a week or two, depending. But if there's just no interest in it by the end of the month, like if we're, it's just like me and 2 other people or something like that, I'll probably just I'll end it at the end of the month. So I just wanted to mention that. I really do hope that you will come over and join us, though. I'm calling it the birthday craft along because it was my birthday last month, and so all you have to do is just do some kind of craft, yarn. Well, you can make yarn, you can spin, knitting, crochet, sewing, cross stitch, whatever. If in doubt, you can ask me. If you make jewelry, that works too. But it just has to be somehow related to a birthday. So it's either a birthday gift, it was using a pattern or materials or whatever that you received for your birthday. It's for a baby because they're, going to be born, or they just had a birthday. I'm counting any of it. So just all you have to do is just tie it in somehow to a birthday, and we're cool. It did have to be started before whatever the last day it was that I recorded. I don't think I wrote it down. I did not. So 2 weeks ago, I guess. But there are details and stuff in all the rules and everything are in the chat thread. So yes, there will be links again. I do hope that you come over there. And I feel like if you're into yarn, you should totally use Ravelry because it's amazing. And I don't know. I love it. So I hope that, if you're hesitant to join or whatever, maybe give it a go, give it a try, and you can join in on the craft along as well, if you're interested. All right, so enough of that. Let's talk about what I have finished. Last week I had a lot to show you with regards to finished objects, and this week not so much. I did finish another hat. Let's see here. This is the cabled hat by Dora Stevenson. I have not washed or blocked this at all, so you can see it's very compacted. But let me put my hands in there. If I stretch it out, so it has this larger cable structure and then these small ones, which these are done, this is just a 2-stitch cable, so you're using 1 stitch to cross over to the other one, and I've done that before, but I've never done it exactly the way that she has you do this in the pattern. It's a free pattern, so I'm not really giving anything away, but basically the way I have done it before was that you actually cable it and then slip it over. I don't know how to explain it, but this way she has you basically knit the second stitch, so you leave the first stitch on your needle, but you knit into the second one, and then you knit into that first one, and then you pull both of them off. And I had never done it like that before, but it's much quicker, so I recommend it. It's much quicker than the way that I usually have done that in the past. So yes, I really like the pattern. This is for my mom. This is part of the birthday craft along. This is the I'm making this for my mom's birthday. She told me that I had never made her a hat. And that did not sound true, but I think it is. So I wanted to make her a hat. This will go on my head. I'm not going to try it on because my hair is still a little damp, and also I've got a bobby pin in there. It will fit over my head though, very like, you know, tight beanie style. But my mom has a smaller circumference head than I do, so this should fit her perfectly. And it covered my ears, so it looks like it's not. I mean, to me it looks a little small, but it's just because it's not blocked. And the cables, you know, they want to like draw in on themselves because that's what they do. Yes. So I had asked her what she wanted, and she said that she liked this hat. No, that's not the right hat. She had liked that hat I showed you, the Megan's hat. Yeah. When I showed you, it was crochet, but it used puff stitches to make cable looking things. But that one, the crown had some openings, and so I was totally fine with giving her that one, but then I was like, well, maybe I'll try to make you something else and then you can decide. So I made her this. Well, actually, I gave her a choice. I sent her a couple pictures of a couple different cabled hats, and she said she liked this one best. In the image on the project page, it has a faux fur pom-pom on it, which is adorable. So my mom was like, I don't know if I like that puff thing. And I was like, it's called a pom-pom. And we don't have to put it on there. And she was like, well, you sure? Because, you know, I don't. And I was like, you put that on after, you know, I would finish the hat and then you sew it on. And she's like, oh, I thought like you do it when it's part of it. Like you use yarn to do it. I was like, well, no. I mean, you can use yarn, obviously, to make a pom-pom, but not for those faux fur ones, I guess. But anyway, so she decided that she liked this pattern the best. So I went through my stash, and I'm using Lion Brand Woolies, and the color is Blue Heather. I really love this color blue. And I think it'll look really good on my mom. She has slightly different coloring than I do. She's not nearly as fair skinned as I am, and I have a lot of like redness in my skin, and she doesn't. So, but I think it'll look nice. Once I give it to her, I will take a picture and you can see it. But her birthday is not until May, so it may be like a, you know, like a, I don't know, like a flash from the past or something like that. Couldn't think of the words. Anyway, did you see my brain, like my wheels turning in there? Again, so anyway, so I really like this pattern. It's very easy to do. I memorized it really quick, and I wanted to show you. You actually continue the cables into the crown, so you can see like the actual full. Let's see. This is the last. This one right here. Okay, can I do it? All right, so this one right here is the last full, the row where the cables are, and then you do a smaller cable at the top, like you decrease and everything, and it's really nicely done. However, this pattern is charted, so it doesn't have, I mean, it has some written instructions, but the actual like cable rows and stuff are not written down. So I didn't think it was particularly hard to do. She does have the cable construction, so the rows that you actually do the cabling, she does have that written out. So when you see those symbols put together, you know, if you want to, you can read those sections there, which I thought was helpful because I'm not particularly great at reading charts, but I'm not too bad at it. And the cable rows took me a while because they always do. I used a cable needle because you're using, like, they're doing 3 stitches, and I'm not going to just leave those hang there because they will, you know, drop, and then I'll have to pick them up. So anyway, I really like this hat, and I hope that my mom likes it too. That is the only thing that I have finished, but I do have a half finished object. I finished that 2 ounces of fiber. So excited, so excited. So here's the back part. It's very pretty. It looks like every layer is different, so that's pretty fun. And the front. I absolutely love Turkish spindles. It's so fun. So I've let this rest. I finished this about a week ago, actually, or even more. I've let this rest, but I've not started the next one because I just didn't feel like it. But I wanted to show you, now that I think about it, I'll show you. So this is how, you know, you're left with this ball, or it's usually called a turtle, because I guess it looks like a turtle shell. So what you do is you just pop that out, and then you pull the bars out. So this one has a thinner one and a thicker one. So this one goes inside of that one, but I just know that. So you pull the thinner one out, and then you pull the thicker one out, and that one is, for me, is always a little bit harder to do. Okay, so you pull that out, and then you are left with, my phone ringing, you're left with a center pull ball. This is my lead yarn, but you're left with a center pull ball, and that is why working with Turkish spindle is amazing. So I will have a center pull ball to apply from, and I don't have to like go ahead and do it myself. So it's pretty nice. I'm excited about that. So there you go. And I will start the other 2 ounces hopefully this week. It'll probably take me, hopefully not like forever to do. So this is like, these are the pieces. See how like they're different shapes? So this one, the thinner one, goes inside there, and then the shaft goes there, and it locks it all together. So yeah, so that's pretty fun. And let's see what else. Oh, I didn't mention, I use size 4, which I can't remember the millimeter, or no. Yeah, I can't remember the millimeter number on that. Is it 3.5? I feel like it's 3.5. And for the brim, for the ribbing part, and then for the cable part, I use a size 7, which is a 4.5 millimeter. I think last time I mentioned a size 7, I said it was 5, but it's not. It's 4.5. So yeah, and then that's all I have like done-ish. I'm still working on. So let's move on to the whips. I'm still working on those socks that I have been working on for, I looked it up, over a month. Yeah, I don't know. Again, like I don't know. I don't have a whole lot. I can't remember exactly where I was. I feel like that stitch marker is where I was last time, at least on this sock, and this one doesn't have one, so yay. These are socks using the stitch pattern from the Syncopation socks, and those are by Mary Henninger. But that particular pattern is, it uses, it's just specifically for one size, and I obviously do not wear a men's size 12. I mean, I guess I could, but I mentioned before that I don't, so, and I did a different toe, and I did a different, I'm going to do a different heel. I did a rounded toe, which, it's just, see how it's rounded, so that way you're not dealing with like a hard edge, or not a hard edge, like a straight line like you would in a box toe. So I just think it fits a little bit better on me. I'm going to be doing the Fish Lips Kiss heel on them, and I am ready to start the heel. I mean, that really does not look like a very long foot, does it? But it's not. So I am ready to start the heel, and yeah. So here is how the color progression is working. You can see they do not match exactly, but you know, you can tell they're related. And yeah, I like the pattern. I like the texture that it makes. And I think I've showed you this before. So if you stretch it out, you can see it has like these little grooves that line up. Yeah, they're fine. Like I just haven't really put very much time into them. Because I usually work on my socks and stuff in the evenings, or if I'm out like waiting for something, but I've just had other stuff I've had to do, so yeah. Did I mention that I haven't even done my taxes yet? So honestly, I probably should do my taxes before I, before I finish the socks at least. Come on. I still work on them. This is in my Fat Score Fibers bag. Oh, and I'm using US size 2.5 millimeter needles. But this is my narwhal bag that I love so much. I love it. My spinning was in my Kicks and Giggles bag. Harry Potter. You haven't seen this in a little bit because I have not worked on it, but I am working on it now. This is the Freezing January cardigan by Cheryl Namath. I've called mine Freezing January because I started it in January and it was really cold. So I am now into the gray. So this pattern, you work stockinette and then you do these little garter ridges. Can you see? Let's see, maybe you can see. See? And that's how the entire body is. I have a provisional cast on here at the bottom because I'm not sure what edge I'm going to put on it. I know it's going to roll, so I don't know. I'm doing a seed stitch border. Oh, sorry about the noise. You probably cannot see that the seed stitch there because of the color, but it is seed stitch. This is a needle keeper, and I'm going to take it off there because it's making jangly noises. But basically, it's a little metal tube, open-ended on one side, and on this side it's got a rubber stopper with a slit in it. And you just put your needles through the slit. And basically it protects the join of your needles, like where the needle goes in. These are like $8, I think. And they come in a bunch of different colors. I got mine in green because it's my favorite color. And yes, so I'm excited about it. I've been using it on this project. I am doing the striping a little bit different than the pattern calls for. I would have just been into the gray at this point, and actually I think I would have been, yeah, I would have been into the gray at this point and only the gray, but I am doing a different striping sequence. Well, it really wasn't striping so much as color blocking. I'm doing a striping sequence. Someone on their project page did their stripes, like, so they did 5 sections of the color 1, and then 1 section of color 2, and then 4 sections of color 1, and 2 sections of color 2. So you're just basically, going high to low, opposite meeting up in the middle. And I really liked how it looked. Of course, like, the person who did it, like, she looks tall and skinny, and I am so not, but I really liked it, so I'm going to give it a go. And I figure the worst happens is that it makes me look not great, and I'll wear it anyway, because I don't care. I mean, I do care, but if I knit this thing, I'm wearing it. I mean, as long as it, like, fits, I'm wearing it. So you do these decreases, and you do them here, and so you get these little points that are going to hit on the hip. So I'm pretty excited about that. I think it's going to look pretty good. I hope. We'll see. We'll see. I am at the point where I've done the ridge on I've done the ridge in the gray, and so it's time to join the black back on. So that's what I will be doing next. It's really not that hard. I don't know. It's a lot of, there's a lot of purling, not a lot of, okay. There is a lot of purling. And I don't know how to knit back and forth yet. Like, that's one of those things I want to teach myself how to do. Or take a class or something. I just have to kind of, you know, take the time to do it. Not in mid-project, of course, but, or I wouldn't start it on this project mid-project, but because it'll change your gauge, I would assume. But it's something for the future. So you actually do, it's a free pattern. It's on Knitty, which is knitty.com. I can't remember which edition, but I'll have a link so you can find it. But basically you do, you know, so you do knit, purl, knit, knit. So out of 6 rows, 2 of them are purling, which sometimes can feel like a lot of purling, but it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. And I'm not super fast at knitting itself, so I'm not like really that much slower at purling, so it's just whatever. I think the hand motion is just not as, I can knit without really looking at what I'm doing, but I can't when I'm purling because I still make mistakes if I'm not paying attention. So there we go. This is living in another Fat Squirrel Fibers bag. This is the library card bag. So it looks, or, you know, like okay, if you're old enough and you went to school or you went to the library where when you checked out your books, you had to sign the little card that was in a little pocket, and then the librarian kept that in like a folder, not a folder, like in a file, so that way she knew who had what books. And then when you brought it back, she'd stamp it, or no, she'd stamp it when you got it, and then I'm pretty sure they'd stamp it when you get it back too. Maybe not. But anyway, so it went back in the book, so that way they knew who had it. And yeah, if you're old enough, you will remember that. That is how my libraries worked. I feel like my library went digital. Like my school library didn't go digital probably until they built an extension on our school and they built a new library. And at that point it became digital. But before that, it was still, you have to sign your name. And then like this county library, it went digital a little bit before then, but you know, it's probably still high school. And I love to read, so I was always in the library. I wish I could remember exactly when. But it has some of my favorite books on here. We have A Wrinkle in Time. That's this one here. There is The Great Gatsby. Dr. Seuss. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. What else is on here? Choose Your Own Adventure. Those were always fun. And this one's You Are a Shark. So that one's fun. Scandinavian Legends and Folk Tales. And when I'm like, this is when I ordered the bag, she said if you had a specific book in mind, from like some of the images she had shown, you could tell her and she would try to get it on your particular bag. And this is Louisa May Alcott's Little Women. So that was one of my absolute favorite books growing up. So yeah, that's where that's living. And then the last thing that I've been working on has been some cross stitch, which I've not talked about with you in a while. But my whole thing of like not being able to I've not been able to like focus on anything for very long means that like I just wanted to start a bunch of new things, which means I will get nothing done, and I know this, but whatever. So I started a cross stitch project. This is, I'll show you the pattern and well, not the pattern itself, but I'll show you like the Etsy page for the pattern. But it's can you see? It's gonna be a deer, like that's the back part of the deer, and with some like scrolly stuff. Yeah. So you can see this is how I prep my fabric. I tape the edges, and then I run just thread through every 10 sections, and then it meets up in the middle. This actually does not meet up exactly in the middle. So technically, like my center point of, like my center axis, or my 0 point is not marked by two intersecting sections, but that's fine because I know that. It's just one off and it's fine. I also am using, this is my needle keeper. Fancy. I just put my needle through the corner. I had a needle keeper at one point, and then I don't know what happened to it. Probably I stopped cross-stitching, so it's very, very possible that I gave it to my sister, because I gave her a bunch of cross-stitching stuff when she was pregnant with my niece, because she was bored and she couldn't like get out and do a bunch of stuff, so I gave her some cross-stitching stuff to do, and it's probably in with that. Which is fine. I can either buy another one, but I've actually been thinking about making them, or making one for myself, because I've got the materials. Like I've got magnets and I've got stuff I can use to make them. I just have to actually sit down and do it. So anyway, this is what I've got going so far, and I will show you the pattern. I bought this on Etsy, and it's from RHT Embroidery. The shop is fairly new, so she doesn't have a whole lot of reviews, and I'm going to talk about the pattern quality here in a second, but this is the pattern. Let's see if I can get it without the glare. Okay, so it says after all this time and always. Obviously, it's a Harry Potter reference. Let's see, can I zoom in? It will not let me zoom in. I don't know why. Let's see. Maybe it will. Let's try it and see if it will. For some reason, it's listing this as, it's giving me the Canadian dollar amount of $6.82, but it's actually $5 US. I don't know why it's giving me the Canadian amount, but here we go. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the pattern. You got this image in your head real quick? Okay, so if you look at the, like where the question mark lines up, you can see that things are not exactly centered. So I am altering the pattern, or I'm altering the pattern to make it all centered, because it's going to drive me crazy if I don't. So I didn't realize it when I bought it that it wasn't centered, because I was just like, oh, that's really cute, and I threw it in my cart and bought it right away. So I am modifying that. It's not really that hard to do. I have it written down, like basically how much each row has to get shifted. So if you buy this pattern, you're interested in what I'm doing, please, just ask and I'll tell you. But it's not that big of a deal. You just have to know where the center is. And the pattern itself is just the grid with the top and the side numbered with the floss numbers included. It's just got two different floss colors, so nothing too complicated, but that's it. Like, that's all you get, and that's fine, because I'm not like new to cross stitching, but if you are, that is something that you might want to keep in mind. She might have changed it, she might have altered it, because she's got new stuff in her shop, so I'm not 100% sure. But the actual image itself is really cute, so that's why I bought it, because I thought it was cute. So, yeah, but the fact that it's not centered it's not just that it's not centered inconsistently. So I don't think it was intentional that it's not centered, so that's the reason I'm changing it. Well, I mean, also because I want it to be, but that's what I'm doing. And the way I did that was I just figured out where the center would be, because she didn't actually, that's another thing, the pattern does not have a center line marked. Like, I usually like my patterns when I buy them or when I make them, I always put a center mark, because I don't always work from the center out, but it helps to kind of keep that in mind, because like I do mark mine to know where the center is, so that way I don't end up like accidentally having a piece that's too small. So Yeah, but I still think it's, you know, it's a cute pattern. So, I mean, obviously I bought it and I don't regret it. So, there you go. And that is all for what I'm working on, I believe. Yes. Um, I have bought a couple of things. I've actually bought one thing that's not here yet. I bought some um, blocking wires. Words. I bought some blocking wires because do you remember the Asunder shawl that I finished with the speckly yarn and the yarn over section with like a darker blue, brown, black kind of color, which was it was from the speckle was from Lammy Toes, and the blue part was from Cyborg's Craft Room. Well, if you remember, I finished that like before the end of the year. It's been a while, and I was like, I thought I was gonna get wire blockers for or blocking wires. I thought I was gonna get them for Christmas, and I didn't, which is fine. And I was like, I'll just buy them myself. But then I never did. I just forgot about it. So you can't see it, but like kind of behind my my chair, that shawl is still sitting in the project bag, and that's where it's been. So once I get those, I'll be able to actually block that, and it'll be fun. The reason I had to get new blocking wires, or not new blocking wires specifically, was just because the size of the shawl. If I tried to pin it, I didn't want to have points, and I knew it was going to end up having points, and so that's why I was like, I'm going to use wires to block it, and then I just didn't get them. So it's fine. We'll see what happens. I ordered them from Infinity, which is an Etsy store, and I'll show those to you when I get them. But I ordered them on, I think, like on the 2nd, and I don't think they've shipped yet, but I believe they say like 3 to 5 business days, and it's not been that, so I'm not worried. Anyway, I did buy some washi tape. If you've seen my Instagram post, you will know this. I bought 2 different listings, I guess, and I'll show them to you. I'm not going to take them out of the packaging though. Okay, maybe I might have to. Okay, so this one's got cats on it. This one has like a mushroom, a bunny, a deer, and an owl. Yeah, an owl. And then the bottom one has birds on a wire. Super fun. I'll put links to what I actually bought in the show notes. So that way, if you want to buy them, you can too. And then I got this package of different washi tapes. I'm trying to minimize the glare for you, so you can see. Oh, hello. I never know quite which direction to go into. But they're really fun, and they're all different colors, and I was excited about them. They seem like they're good quality. I don't know yet for sure, so we'll see. Because this doesn't have, no, they don't have like a made by or made in. Oh no, actually they say they're made in China. It says okay, so that's really, really weird. It says Japanese on like the listing and stuff. It does say Japanese, but it's made in China, which is interesting. Okay. But they do seem like they're you know, sticky enough, but you know, anyway, we'll see how they go. Once I actually get a chance to use them, I will tell you if they are bad or not. I'm sure they're fun because it's tape and it's cute, and yes, I had to have the one with the cats on it because, you know. Okay, so what I have been watching, or what I've been doing. I finished watching Nurse Jackie, and let me just say this, okay? So the ending, no spoilers, but the ending ends like on a cliffhanger, like the last episode leaves you hanging. And I generally don't like shows like that. I usually won't watch them, quite frankly. And had I known that that's how it ended, I probably wouldn't have watched it. But I didn't look into it because I was like, it's a Showtime show. They usually wrap stuff up. Like, you know, when you're like Showtime or HBO, they usually wrap things up. So I didn't think to check it, but I should have. That being said, I don't think that it like negates how good the show was or anything like that, and I guess I can just leave it up to my own imagination. But it was just a little irritating. It's like I have questions, people. I have questions. So yeah, if you don't know what that show's about, it's about a nurse in New York City, and she has addiction issues. So yeah, the last season, was it the last season or maybe I can't remember exactly at what point it happened, but for me, her addiction was, I don't know, the show got a little harder to watch, I guess. Maybe because like I know people who have had addiction problems, and so maybe it's just like hitting too close to home or something, but um I don't know, like, you know, the show was still really good. Don't get me wrong, like it was really good. I love like the all the cast members and everything, like they're all great. And you know, I did feel like they introduced a new female doctor, and it seems like that she spent a lot of time with her clothes off. But I think that was probably because like maybe the other characters or like the other actors were like, we're not doing that anymore. This is season 5 or 6 or whatever. So we're gonna need somebody new to fill that role, I guess. Um, but you know, the show was really good. I enjoyed it. I just wish that, you know, I knew how everything got wrapped up. Um, Other than that, what have I done? Oh, I did manage to watch. Okay, I did manage to watch Talladega Nights, which is a Will Ferrell movie. I've seen it before, but like I hadn't seen it in a very long time, and it just made me laugh. Probably because I don't know, just did. It just did. Um, so it's about like a race car, NASCAR driver or whatever. And I don't watch NASCAR or anything like that, but like my brother was really into NASCAR. And of course I have like family members and stuff who are, you know, they still are into it. But um yeah. It's just like I'm aware of kind of what goes on a little bit. Not always, but I used to be more aware, but now I'm just kind of like whatever. But you know, I don't know. It's funny. It's funny. And it was just really something to put on and just laugh. So that was nice. And then that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, we played board games. I bought Roll for the Galaxy, which it's not really a board game, I guess, because there's no board, but it's sort of, you've got dice, like, that you have to recruit. I'm not going to explain it very well, but you should just go watch a video on it because it's really, really fun. It's not a really long, drawn out game, so you can, you know, play it and not feel like you just spent your entire day playing a game. And it was really fun. Both my husband and I enjoyed it, and I think it's 2 to 5 players, I believe. And but it's enjoyable, and you know, it's well balanced and everything like that. So we've been enjoying that, and I think we've played like 3 times since I bought it. Which that, I mean, like 3 times maybe in a row. Maybe, which that's saying something because it's not like we're playing like a ton of games in one day. But yeah, so that's fun. Yeah, and that is pretty much it. I could talk more about everything that's going on, but honestly, like, until everything is like done, I feel like I'm just gonna be like scatterbrained. So yeah, but it's fine. I've been really just kind of focusing on, or trying to focus on getting as much done as possible with regards to everything that needs to get done. And not always succeeding, but it's fine. It'll all get there. Yeah. So I am gonna go and I hope that you guys are having a really, really great day. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please let me know what you think in the comments. And head on over to Ravelry and join the group. And then you can join in on the birthday craft along as well. Because maybe your mother needs a hat like my mom does. Because she has short hair now. And her head's cold. She used to watch my videos and she doesn't anymore because she's like, I don't know how to get it on my computer. I'm like, okay. But so she'll never hear that part. But yeah, like, anyway. All right. I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.